Welcome back to The Deep Dive. This is where we, cut through all the noise and get right to the harder things. Today, we're diving into something really fresh, really exciting, the top 5 global bestsellers for the first half of 2025. So, January to June. And look, this isn't just like a list of books people bought. It's more like a window, isn't it, into what readers are really after right now, what trends are pushing sales, and what actually makes a book properly fly off the shelves these days. Okay, so let's unpack this. Our mission here is basically to pull out the key insights, the really important stuff from these sources, give you a bit of a shortcut really to being totally up to speed on what's happening in the literary world right now.
Yeah, and what's really compelling, I think, is that these aren't just standalone popular books. They're actually pretty powerful indicators of bigger cultural trends, maybe even psychological stuff playing out globally. Sales figures, they tell us more than just, oh, that was a good story. They tap into what readers need, market dynamics,
Yeah.
and, how we're all trying to make sense of things. So as we go through this list, it's worth thinking about what these trends might mean for you, maybe for your own reading pile, or if you're interested in publishing, or maybe you're just curious, which is great too.
Absolutely. And building on that idea, these books as indicators. Let's get into the first title, because this is where it gets really interesting. These books aren't just selling. They're like actively shaping conversations.
Yeah.
So kicking us off, number one, huge numbers here, over 1.7 million copies sold just in these 6 months. It's The Let Them Theory by Mel Robbins. Now, if you know Mel Robbins, you know her style. It's very direct, no nonsense, but wow, does it land.
That's right. And the core idea, the sort of hook of the book, is essentially about letting people do what they want, which really is about freeing yourself, isn't it? Freeing yourself from that constant need to control things or, the weight of what other people expect. It's quite a powerful message for personal liberation, especially now.
Yeah, it really is. And what I find fascinating about the Let Them Theory isn't just the core message, but how it's managed to cut through. I mean, the self-help space is crowded, right? So what's its unique angle beyond just being direct that makes it resonate so much now?
Well, I think the real insight isn't just, set boundaries. Lots of books cover that. It's more how Robbins taps into this collective exhaustion, this fatigue from all the invisible work of managing how people see us, the constant online pressure. She gives this clear, almost radical way to just mentally step back from trying to please everyone all the time. It's impossible, right? It's about realizing that trying to control how others react, it's a losing game. And all that energy is just better spent on your own peace of mind.
That is a powerful idea, especially, like you say, with everything being so connected, so performative sometimes. But let me just play devil's advocate for a second. In a world where we do need to rely on each other, collaborate, how does the let them theory sort of square that? How does it walk the line between healthy boundaries and, I don't know, maybe disengagement, or what some critics might even call maybe a bit selfish?
Yeah, that's a really good question and an important one. Robbins isn't saying, just become apathetic or don't care about people, not at all. Instead, the book frames it more as self-preservation, and that ultimately can actually lead to more genuine connections, because when you're not constantly trying to manage or manipulate outcomes with people, you free up so much mental and emotional energy.
Right.
It's about letting go of the burden of what you absolutely cannot control so you can actually focus better on what you can. And that approach, if you apply it constructively, can actually make relationships healthier, less resentment, more authenticity. It shifts your focus from needing that external validation to building your own internal resilience.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Right, moving on. Number two. Nearly tying for that top spot, actually. Also, almost 1.7 million copies sold. This is a title that, frankly, we all knew was going to cause a huge stir. Sunrise on the Reaping by Suzanne Collins, the new Hunger Games prequel. I mean, the buzz around this has been absolutely massive.
Oh, absolutely. The Hunger Games, the staying power of that franchise is incredible. It has such a loyal fan base, people who literally grew up with Katniss in that world. And this new book, it goes deeper into Panem's history, that dark past. It gives readers more of that dystopian world building they just seem to love. It's a return, isn't it, to a world that's, brutal, but still feels oddly relevant.
Definitely. And it's not just the built-in audience and that, powerful nostalgia driving the sales. There's also, let's be honest, the huge boost from all the movie talk, all the adaptations. It's kind of a perfect storm. Nostalgia plus a new story plus movie hype equals boom, instant bestseller. But while nostalgia is clearly a huge factor, does tapping into an existing universe like this, does it risk maybe limiting creativity? Or does it actually free up authors like Collins to explore things more deeply because the groundwork's already laid?
That's a really, really insightful point about kind of the business and the art of these big franchises. On one side, yeah, okay, there are constraints. You're working within established lore. You can't just suddenly change fundamental things. But on the other hand, it gives a different kind of creative freedom. Collins doesn't have to spend time introducing Panem. We all get it. The audience knows the rules, the stakes, the whole feel of it. So that lets her explore the nuances, the origins of the brutality, the figures we didn't know much about who shaped things. It's less about building outwards, maybe more about digging deeper, adding layers to a world people already care about. And it also really highlights this interesting thing happening in publishing now, where a new book can spark fresh interest in the films, and then a film announcement sends everyone running back to the books. It's the cycle feeding itself.
Yeah, that interplay is fascinating. Okay, sliding into third place now. We've got Rebecca Yarros' Onyx Storm. And listen to this, the deluxe edition alone sold over 1.5 million copies. Just the deluxe. That's incredible, even for a book people were desperate for.
It really is. And what's genuinely insightful here, I think, is seeing how Rebecca Yarros is just completely dominating that romantasy space right now. After Fourth Wing just exploded, largely thanks to Book Talk, right? That whole TikTok book community, which is just incredibly powerful at setting trends, getting readers talking. Well, after that, readers were absolutely ravenous for more dragon riders, more high-stakes action, and yes, that intense romance. This book gave them exactly what they wanted. But it's how it was delivered, too, that's really interesting.
Right. It's not just the story, which obviously hit the mark. There's this other massive sales driver happening.
Yeah.
The whole collector's edition trend.
Yeah.
The sprayed edges, the special covers, maybe bonus chapters, all that stuff creates this huge sense of urgency, this desire among the fans to own a really special physical copy. Sounds like smart publishing, but I wonder, does this trend for these super collectible, often pricier deluxe editions, does it risk putting up a barrier, maybe for new readers, or people who just want the story without paying extra for the fancy bits?
That's a crucial point, definitely. These deluxe editions, they're clearly targeting that existing super dedicated fan base, people willing to pay a premium. And the strategy often involves, limited runs or releasing them at certain times to create that scarcity. It's a really smart way for publishers to fight back against digital, I suppose. Giving people a tangible, exclusive reason to buy a physical book turns it into a collectible. But you're right, for new readers, the standard editions are still there. They're affordable. What's insightful maybe is how Book Talk isn't just promoting books anymore, it's kind of shaping them. You get readers making theories, creating art, having these intense discussions. It all feeds back into the cycle. And publishers at these special editions are basically tapping into that engaged fandom, making them feel part of it, part of this event. It's this powerful loop, isn't it, between the author, the community, and the business side. But yeah, it's definitely segmented by how engaged a fan you are.
Yeah, fascinating stuff. Okay, number 4. Here's a name that you just see on bestseller lists constantly, year in, year out. Big Jim Begins. It's the 13th book in the Dogman series by Dav Pilkey. Proof that, well, some things just reliably work.
Absolutely. You just can't deny the appeal of Dav Pilkey's books, can you? Dogman. They're funny. They've got that really distinctive cartoon art style kids love. The adventures are just spot on for that age group. They're easy to get into. They're fun. They're engaging. It's a formula, but Pilkey has just mastered it over, decades now?
And crucially, from the parents' point of view, which is obviously huge in the kids' market, parents love them.
Yeah.
Because they actually get kids wanting to read. It's almost like literacy by stealth, isn't it? The kids are laughing so much they don't even realize they're, developing reading skills.
Exactly. Like a gateway drug to reading, but in the best possible way. Sparking that early love for stories. Pilkey's whole brand, really Dogman, Captain Underpants before it's a guaranteed bestseller machine. If we zoom out a bit, his continued success just shows that constant, steady demand for kids' books that are engaging, accessible, and actually help foster that love of reading early on. What's really amazing is how he keeps it fresh, book after book. Keeps bringing in new readers while the older fans stick around too. He just really understands kids' humor, their imagination.
Definitely. Okay, finally, rounding out our top 5 for this period. At number 5, we have The Housemaid by Freida McFadden. This one feels like it's been building momentum for a while, kind of bubbling under, and now, bam, right into the top tier.
Yes, it's a psychological thriller, and it's incredibly gripping, just packed with twists, and importantly, very accessible. McFadden has sort of become a real darling on Book Talk as well. Her books are just addictive. You can binge them. They're perfect for a quick, satisfying read. They tend to hook you right from the start, often with an unreliable narrator, which makes all the twists feel really earned. but still surprising.
Yeah, totally. And it's not just the twisty plots. McFadden is also incredibly prolific, isn't she?
Yeah.
She writes a lot, which means readers who get hooked, they don't have to wait long for the next one. They stay engaged, keep coming back. There's always another McFadden thriller sort of waiting. It's almost like a really efficient content pipeline. Does that kind of high-volume output, does it change things, like how publishers market an author or even what readers come to expect?
Oh, it absolutely does. I think what's really insightful here is seeing how an author who writes a lot and uses social media smartly can build this absolutely massive dedicated following just through consistent output of stuff people really want to read. High quality, engaging content. McFadden's model, it kind of highlights a shift, maybe, in publishing, where releasing books quickly, often maybe digital first, Doc, can build loyalty almost like, I don't know, binge watching a Netflix series rather than waiting for the traditional big seasonal book launch. Readers get hooked. They expect that next fix, and McFadden delivers. Bang, bang, bang. It really shows that today, consistency, talking directly to your readers online, and just knowing your genre inside out, and giving the audience exactly what they crave, that can lead to huge success, sometimes even bypassing the slower, more traditional routes. It's about efficiency and understanding your niche.
Right. So when we look at this top 5 list together, what does it all mean? It's incredibly diverse, isn't it? You've got self-help, dystopian YA, fantasy romance, kids humor, psychological thrillers. It really reflects this amazing range of what readers are actually picking up today. It's a pretty vibrant snapshot of the literary scene. So now it's over to you listening. Have you read any of these? Which one sounds like something you'd grab first? Make sure you follow our channel, obviously, so you don't miss what we've got coming up next, because next Sunday we're going to release another special deep dive looking at the rest of the list, numbers 6 through 10. You really don't want to miss that one. And actually, here's a question for you. Would you like us to maybe do a really deep dive on just one of these books, or perhaps a more detailed analysis of a couple of them? Let us know what you think. Your feedback genuinely helps shape these deep dives.
Yeah, definitely let us know. And looking at the bigger picture of these 5 books, it does raise an interesting question, I think. Beyond just the individual stories or authors, what does this specific top 5 tell us about maybe our collective desires right now in 2025? Are we mostly looking for comfort, in familiar franchises or genres, or empowerment from something new like the self-help? Or is it just fundamentally about finding a really compelling story to get lost in for a bit? Or maybe it's a mix of all of that, reflecting how dynamic and, complex readers are today. It's definitely something to think about, isn't it? Until then, keep reading and keep discovering.
Subscribe to the Timeless Tales podcast. Your stories, your time.